Well, the time has finally come for me to revisit this lovely angel. Y'all know that I have a thing for fallen angels on this channel. We've had Dark Lord deck profiles. I've had this card on the channel before. I believe we've had Ophanimon on here once or twice. That's getting an update really soon, in a couple of months, give or take. We got some new stuff for it. We finally have a good card for her base form. Ophanimon Ace is here. Got him on update, people. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into Team Forbidden's YouTube page. It is I, Scott, otherwise known as Setter Son the Fanatic, back at you with an update for Ophanimon Tribal. I don't know what happened with the last one. We've done like two different versions of this when Ophanimon came out, and Andrew was slow at updating the other one. I don't know when this one is going to hit, but new Ophanimon card. Ophanimon finally has a good card. Ophanimon has been cursed from the beginning of the game. Seraphimon has at least had good cards through the entirety of the game. The Star Deck one sucks. Don't even bother using it. The first one from BT1, it was a little weak, but it recovered you one, and if you had the right inheritables and stuff under it and your opponent's security was just weak, it would just tear through everything. The only good Ophanimon card for the longest time was this. This was the only good Ophanimon card. What did the first one in BT2 do? Oh, if it dies, it goes to the top of the security stack. Okay, I guess. What's the next one do? We literally don't get another Ophanimon until the promo. And the promo just minus 5Ks. It's terrible. And then it's like, okay, 15 comes around. Okay, cool. We're getting Kari support in this one. All right, Magnadramon's gotten some love. Oh, okay, here's a new Magnadramon. Why there no Ophanimon in 15? And then it continued at 16. I didn't expect Ophanimon because it's not that line. Ophanimon is not that line. There's no Angiwomon in 16. So then we waited for EX6. EX6, the Angels versus Demons set. Ophanimon Ace. Thank God this card is actually decent. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. There's not a lot of changes, but we'll get into it slowly and surely. So first off, for our Digi-Eggs Digitama, we're still rocking just the 4 Nyaramon. I'd find room for a 5th egg in here because we've got the Ukos in here still. And in fact, I bumped them up to, spoilers, we bumped them up to 3 because I never saw them at 2. But yeah, this Nyaramon is the best Nyaramon aside from the purple one. And for those of you asking why I don't run the purple one, it's because the 15 one doesn't digivolve from the purple one for some reason. I literally don't get why they didn't add Digimals from Nyaramon for 0. Whatever. Anyways, the 4 Nyaramons, you could try running a 5th one. Don't run the BT2 Nyaramon, it's trash. And there's not really any other good egg you can go on top of. So, into the rookies, we have 4 of your best Salamon. It's by far the best one. 3 of the Salamon from 15. You could potentially run the Salamon from EX6. That only gives you a memory if you've got a purple Digimon or Tamer out. Unfortunately, the Tamer lineup that we have doesn't really allow for that. We're also not running the new... if you're able to get the Meres, you could probably replace the Yolis and Karis with that. But Mere is not Kari, so it conflicts with some of your other strategies as well. Anyways, 3 of this Salamon. It's kind of bad, but you have to run it, basically. If you have 3 or more security cards, you can add the top card of security stack to your hand. That is optional. And then if you have 2 or fewer, you can put a card with a vaccine trait on the bottom. Basic strategy with this, you put Gatomon on the bottom of your stack and trash it with the Nyaramon to play it out. Because this thing comes out automatically when it's played. When it gets trashed. Excuse me. But yeah, it's you run this mostly for the inheritable. So when a card's trashed from your security, opponent's Digimon gets -2 KDB for the turn. That can help in really dealing with some wide boards and some smaller bodies. 2 copies of the Salamon with the from ST10 with the end of turn DNA inheritable, because sometimes that does come up. You can pass your opponent to 1. You have this or the starter deck Gatomon under, and then you Digivolve, DNA Digivolve into one of your 5 Silphymons. We bumped that back up to 5. And you can suspend the Yoli card to gain a memory and keep turn, and do other shenanigans from there. To round off our Lurky lineup, we're running 3 of the BT16 Ukomon. While we can. This card is probably going to get restricted because it is way too good. There's a lot of decks that are running this card right now for good reason. It Digivolves on top of any egg for 1. That's a level 2. So no Mother G Reaper or King Drazel or Demon Lord Gate shenanigans. Working on getting that together, but it's a little hard to get the Akudos because they're secrets. But yeah, the Ukomon, Digimon is pushed out from breeding area that includes itself. Look at your top 3, add a Digimon or Tamer to your hand, bottom deck the rest. And then you can hatch a Digiegg after. There's a reason people are calling for this card to get hit, and this card and the other Ukomon are the reason why Numemon are such a huge threat. Alright. Into the champions. We run 4 copies of BT15 Gatomon. This card is so good. I love this card and I love this artwork so much. The new one is basically only Mastermon support, unfortunately. This is your best Gatomon in this deck. You combine it with the Nyaramon to gain 2 memory. Whenever it's you combine it with the Salamon to put it on the bottom to trash it and just straight up play it out. It has Barrier, which basically means as long as you have security, this thing isn't dying by battle. It's got it on itself, and it has it as an inheritable as well. The only way this card could have been any better is if it automatically played itself after it comes out of security instead of only when it gets trashed. It should have been something like activate this. Should have been probably something like, I don't know, a security effect, and then had another effect on it saying activate it when this card is trashed. You know, like the option card. So, 4 copies of Lynxmon. This is your big armor. This helps you go into your Silphymon plays. You go Lynxmon on top of Gatomon. And then you can just hard Digivolve a Silphymon from BT16 and Partition is live. What more else can be said? 3 Gatomon. Still the 3. I've toyed with going 2 and 2, but no matter how I looked at it, this one is just better because the 16 Salamon always Digivolves from this for 1. And this Digivolves on top of any Salamon for 2. So, 2 cost versus a 3 cost. Oh, and also a 3 cost that doesn't have an on-evo. We run this in here for 2 reasons. 1, we can Digivolve into Angelwomon Ace for 1. 2, it'll get the on-play if we play it off of Revelation of Light. And it searches purple and yellow. Pretty much all the top line is purple and yellow. So, that's it for the 4s. Into the 5s. We're going with the Aces first. 3 copies of Angelwomon Ace. I want to run 4, but I honestly can't justify it, especially because we have some 6s that are Aces now, and Overflow 7, if they kill your body, basically means your opponent just plays their option card for free. That's not fun at all. So, it does come up with some new stuff, but overall, 3 seems to work just fine. If you have to, you can hard play it. You usually don't want to hard play it, but it's there as an option. 4 copies of the BT16 Silphymon. This card is so good. This card is just so good. Partition is just a dumb ability. like I said in the last video for it, you basically have this with the barrier Godamon out, and you make it so they have to kill you by effect, so partition goes off, basically. Or they have to de-digivolve you or strip your sources or do other stuff. To round our fives, we have one of the BT8 Sylphimon. It still can come up. It basically defeats almost every single level 4, and if you've got like a DP reduction somewhere, it'll delete any level 4, so no blast digivolving. Heck, this thing can even, with help and DP reduction, this thing can even kill level 5s. So you don't have to worry about any blast evolutions at all. But yeah, minus is 5k something, and then if you're DNA digivolving, you delete something with 5k or less. And it's inheritable when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5k or less. Deal with whiteboards. What else can be said? Alright. Now, without further ado, we are getting into the 6s. 3 copies of Ophanimon Ace. Oh. I wish I could run 4, but Overflow sucks. So, at least with this card, you can play it from your hand and minus AK something. But you can also counter Blast Digivolve. So on play when Digivolving, you trash your top security or bottom security, and then you minus 8k on opponent's Digimon until the end of their turn. So anything that's unaffected, there's like, you still dealing with Tyrant? Cool. Let me just play on Anju-Woman Ace. Cool. Oh, I'm still able to keep turn because of shenanigans with your tamers. Cool. Digivolve Ophanimon Ace on top of that. Minus another 8. Until the end of their turn, Tyrant reboots, and its immunity is gone, and so is it. You're going to have a problem dealing with 15s occasionally. Hopefully that situation doesn't come up too bad, but you can still do some shenanigans on your turn with other stuff to delete. There's usually not any unaffected 15k or higher bodies that you really have to worry about. Maybe an Omnimon, but if you're seeing an Omnimon, the game's already over. Let's be honest. The one thing that I do want to point out, though, which is something... This card is great, apart from being an ace. But they screwed one thing up on this card. It has to Digivolve from Anju-Woman specifically. And for those wondering why that's a problem, if you remember my Magnadramon X profile, there's an Anju-Woman X. So this card can't Digivolve on that for 3. It has to hard Digivolve onto it for 4. Minor gripes aside, what does this thing do? This thing is great. This thing is absolutely great. So it's got the blast. It Digivolves from Anju-Woman, any color, doesn't matter because it's yellow, for 3, or any red or yellow for 4. On play or when Digivolve, you trash the top card of your security, give an opponent's Digimon minus 8k until the end of their turn, and then alterns when a card is removed from your security. If it's your turn, this card gets security attack plus 1. If it's your opponent's turn, you recover. Not bad. And to go with the Ophanimon Ace, we are running 3 copies of Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. Finally, we have a card. We have a good Ophanimon that this thing can go over. And yes, if you trash the security, you will get security attack. You'll maintain that security attack until the end of the opponent's turn. So you Digivolve into this, or it Digivolves from Ophanimon for 2. Friendly reminder, Ace is not part of the card name. So this is just treated as Ophanimon. So this can go over top of this for 2, so if you have a training out, I could just fall down for free. But yeah, Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. This was the best of Ophanimon. Arguably still is. And just look at this artwork. This artwork is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So is this one too, which is interesting that it's Ophanimon fighting Lilithmon here. That's it for the Digimon. Normally this would be the spot where I show off Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. we're not running Ruin Mode in this deck. For one reason and one reason only, you don't want Ruin Mode going on top of an ace and then dying on attack and then overflowing. That's reason one. Reason number two, this deck is yellow. I can't get Ruin Mode back. If it were purple, I could get it back and I might be able to do some more shenanigans with it. But this deck is yellow, so I don't have any way of recurring it from the trash. The Godamon only gets 6 or lower back from the trash, which really irritates me because I want to be able to get freaking Ophanimon. But no, Bandai has to be like, no, 6 or lower. Whatever. Into the different cards that we've got. We're running 2 copies of the card from BT8. This is your memory setter. And I was running 3 of it until very recently. This is arguably the best Kari in the game. We're running 2 copies of Yoli and Kari. This is here mostly because it gets you a memory and a little bit more DP reduction when you DNA Digivolve. It gets you a memory when you Digivolve to red or yellow regardless, but if you DNA, it's an additional minus 3k DP, which can really help with the Silphymons. So you go minus 7, you basically go minus 10, you can basically delete with this tamer anything that's 14k or less. 15 is the one slight problem that you're going to have to deal with, but you can get there if you have the right setup. The last tamer that we are running is we are trying out the new TK and Kari from EX6. So what does this thing do? The reason we're testing this one out is it helps you play Angelwoman Ace or Digivolve into it for, if you've got the Godamon, it Digivolves into it for free. So, anyways, starting your main phase or on play, one of your yellow Digimon gains barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. So, if you don't have the Godamon for the inheritable, no problem, we got this. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon is played or Digivolves, that Digimon, if that Digimon has Angel or Archangel or 3 Great Angels in the traits, by suspending it, gain a memory. So these help with the regular Ophanimons. These help play your Salamons for free and get you extra bodies on board to DNA and all that good stuff. That's it for the tamers. Into the options. 3 physical training, because everything is yellow. And sometimes just Digivolving into Godamon for free is absolutely great. 2 Revelation of Light. I wish I could find room to bump this up to like 3, but when I had it at 3, I never had the options to do stuff with. But this is like one of your main playmakers and comboers. Your Big Bomb, which is sometimes better in the hand than it is on other stuff, is Heaven's Judgment. Again, I iterate, this card is one of the most broken cards in the game. Partially just because, you can just completely ignore the color requirements if you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play. The other reason being, there is almost no defenses for DP minus in this game. Like, at all. It's nuts. There's like no defense for it whatsoever. But yeah, that's it. That's all 50 cards. So that's the Ophanimon deck profile. This is basically as good as it's going to get until, I don't know, something else comes out to support it. You can try and find room for Ruin Mode in there if you like, but again, I don't think it's necessary. Maybe Ordine, but it's rough. Do I like Ophanimon a little bit more than Valkyrie? Yes. Yes, I definitely do. There's some things that Velt does better, and there's some things that Ophanimon do better. It's interesting how both are very, very similar. Because the Valk does a blanket minus 5k on the opponent's board, but it's only for that turn, which is one of the reasons I don't like it, because that came up to where I wasn't able to blast on top of it, and then I couldn't get anything. The Ophanimon is useful essentially both turns. It's the same thing with the Valk also. But, yeah. Also, you can't put another card on top of the Valcase. It just doesn't work that way. But yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications. Let us know any other Digimon deck profiles you'd like to see in the future, and we'll catch you guys later.